Hi, I'm Victoria from 3Tribes. I'm going to take you through a soft and meditative yin practice that's going to get you ready for bed. It's a good idea to create a safe and comfortable space around you. Maybe dim the lights or dim your screens. Maybe even light some candles, put on some music if that feels good. You might notice throughout the practice that I utilize blocks. You might want to grab yourself some cushions or pillows, maybe some blankets. Keep yourself warm and comfortable. We're going to start off in seated meditation. So I've raised my hips to allow a little more comfort and allow the spine to lengthen as opposed to leaning back and rounding through the spine. Take your time to get comfortable here. You can rest your backs of your hands on your thighs, rolling the shoulder heads back and lifting up through the crown of your head. Close your eyes, soften the features of your face, soften your jaw. Let your tongue drop away from the roof of your mouth. And just take a moment here to arrive in this space. To be present both in your breath and in your body. Start to tune in with the ebb and flow of your breath. Follow its rhythm. Note its quality. Becoming aware of where you feel the breath within your body. Soft breath of air as it moves in through your nostrils, the back of your throat, through your chest, your ribs, and into your belly. And as it travels back out of you from the pit of your belly, your ribs, chest, throat, and nose, warming you through. If you're not accustomed to seated meditation, this might not always feel comfortable straight away. It takes time to build the strength for this to be comfortable. You're building flexibility through your hips and pelvis and strength through your spine. And remember that you can make the decision as to whether to stay here or not when you feel those sensations of discomfort arising. You can choose to shift a little, or perhaps you make the decision to remain here. Throughout this practice, I'd like you to become entirely alert and alive to every sensation you feel within your body. A total awareness throughout. Take a deep breath in. Smile softly as you let it go out of the mouth. Taking your hands now onto your thighs, start to slowly roll your ribs around, like you're stirring a pot, a big cauldron. You can allow that movement to affect your shoulders, your hips, your neck. Let the head be heavy. And take those circles the other way. A slight arch and opening with your inhale. Gently curling and rounding with a smooth exhale. Letting your movement last the whole breath. Really elongating your breaths and elongating your movements. I'm going to make our way to a child's pose, so remove your bricks. Take your knees a little wider than your ribs with your toes touching. Sink your hips all the way down to your heels, and you can rest the head either on a pillow or on your forearms. Just take a moment to get the head down. Very likely you've been holding it up all day, so it should feel good. And instruct your whole body to soften, to let go. Become aware of the sensation of your belly rising and falling against your thighs. With a slow expansion of your ribs on every inhale. And a gentle drawing in and closing down navel to spine with each exhale. Extending your arms long now, spreading your fingers wide. Lengthen your arms and feel a slight stretch through your armpits. Have a little sway of your ribs from side to side. And shifting the weight forward, move to all fours. Making our way through a cat-cow. So I invite you to close your eyes throughout much of the practice so you can connect a little deeper with the sensations you're feeling in the body. With a smooth, slow inhale, lift the tail, drop the belly. Wrap the elbows in as you lift your chest forward and up through your shoulders. As you exhale, pushing the floor away, dome up the upper back. Feel the stretch between your shoulder blades and let the head go. Inhaling, lift the tail, send a wave through the spine, arching smoothly, slowly lifting. And exhale, press, round, and squeeze. Heavy head. One more round, slow inhale, integrating the movements with your breath. And exhale to round it through. Let the sides of your neck soften. And again, just painting little circles with your ribs. Exploring the space around you. 199 joints in the spine. Explore every avenue. Juicing up your wrists and your elbows and your hips and your shoulders. Feel around for where your body wants to go. Take those circles the other way. Like you're spreading oil all over your joints. And coming to all fours. Bring your knees together. Point your toes and walk your hands back towards your knees. Now pressing down through your fingertips, we're going to peel your knees off the mat and feel the stretch in the front of your toes. If this is really painful for you, you can gently pulse it. Again, integrating your movements with your breath. Using your exhale to peel the knees away. And lower. Peeling away. And lower. One more time, peel away. And lower. Coming back to all fours, we're going to take it to your thread needle pose. As you exhale, thread your left arm beneath your right armpit. Shift the weight gently forward and slow motion lower your left cheek and your left shoulder to the mat. Gaze at your left thumb or close your eyes and press your right hand lightly into the floor to encourage a light twist through the upper back. Squeeze your navel into your spine lightly and shift your hips an inch more to the left. It might feel good to stay here. You can take the right arm forward above the top of your mat. Maybe you go further, wrapping your right hand behind and catching your inner left thigh. Your whole spine is twisting from coccyx to crown. Feel the weight of your skull sinking down into the ground. Gently peeling your right shoulder away from the ear, without forcing, without pushing. Letting go of the effort. And bring your right hand down to the mat. Slowly gazing at the floor to help you out. Push the floor away and take your left hand back to center. Back to all fours. Right arm beneath your left armpit. Take the weight slightly forward to keep your hips directly above your knees. Right cheek and right shoulder down to the ground. Just pressing your left hand lightly into the mat to encourage the twist. To find your alignment, taking your hips a little more over to the right. Maybe the left hand wrapping behind you to catch the inner thigh. Feel the chest pouring its weight into the ground. Just follow the rhythm of your breath. Become aware of the sensation of the breath within your body, how it affects the posture. One more slow inhale here, and let go. Slowly take your left hand to the mat. Press the floor away, and take both your forearms down to the ground. Slide your knees back and your hips to the floor. Untuck your toes. We're going to take a variation on your Sphinx pose. Take your elbows just a couple of inches further forward, keeping your elbows about shoulder width distance, and spread your fingers wide. So if you're normal Yang Sphinx, you might be accustomed to that lift and lengthening, the navel in, the chest up. I'm going to tell you to do exactly the opposite. As you exhale, hunch your shoulders to your ears, and then let the head hang. This is your Sphinx neck release. You're letting go of all the muscles of the neck, releasing the weight of the skull. Close your eyes. Feel your shoulders drawing down and back away from your ears. It's total surrender, total release. As you let go of the muscles in the body, you allow yourself to work a little deeper into the joints and the tendons and the ligaments, the connective tissue, the fascia. It might feel nice to very gently rock side to side, like a pendulum, a little sway. Eyes closed. Feel the weight of the brain pressing down. This little rock, this little sway is so good for the occipital ridge, for the facet joints of the neck. Moistening the vertebra of the spine. And as you exhale, take one hand on top of the other and rest the head on the hands. Feel the weight of the body release into the mat. A gentle pressure of gravity. I'm going to start to release the shoulders. So take your arms out nice and wide, like a crucifix, with your wrists in line with the shoulders or even slightly above. Your right fingertips pressing into the mat to roll the body carefully onto the left arm. So take the whole weight of the body over and just find the stretch through your left shoulder. If, as you hang the head down, you feel any pain or tension in the neck, you might want to slide the hand under your head, or you can use a pillow under the head. Maybe it feels good to rest your right foot behind you, sole of the foot to the mat, or even rolling the knee out to the side. If you're looking for a little bit more, you can wrap the right hand behind you, perhaps sliding, threading your fingers underneath the ribs, palm down, allowing the right shoulder to gently roll back and down away from the ear. The eyes close. Take your awareness back to your breath. And start to Slow down the breath, counting in, inhaling for a slow count of 4, and exhaling for 4. Inhaling for 4. Exhaling for 4. One more round, breathing in. And letting go. Releasing your hand if it's behind. Take your right hand to the mat. Carefully roll your body back to center. Slide your right arm out to the right, left fingertips to the floor, and roll the body all the way over onto your right arm. Stretching out the tissues of the shoulder, the upper arm, the wrist, the forearm. Perhaps the left foot is coming behind you. You can rest the head on the top of the left hand. Maybe you can wrap the arm behind and thread it underneath your right ribs. Perhaps feeling the weight of your left thigh rolling out to the left if you have that flexibility. And you may feel sensations of discomfort arise. See if you can find a way to soften around that sensation. To let go of tension. The more you can release and soften, the more the body will yield to gravity. Sometimes it can be helpful to smile through it, or to let go of the interpretation of the sensation as pain, and simply think of it as a powerful sensation. Come back to your slow counts of breath, in for 4, and out for 4. You may notice on your exhale the body feels a little softer, a little heavier, and perhaps naturally finds its way a little deeper into the pose. Releasing your left hand to the mat. Roll your body carefully back to center. Bend the right arm and take your hands under your shoulders. You're going to press yourself onto your knees. Now you may find, if your knees are sensitive, that you want to have a little bit of padding under your knees for this pose. I'm going to come onto the side, so I've got a bit of padding on my mat. Slide your knees as wide apart as you dare to take them. This is your frog pose. Take your heels as wide as your knees, and your forearms onto the ground. Flex your toes out to the side. A slight arch through the spine. On a slow in-breath, take the weight forward. And a slow exhale, ease your hips back until you feel the stretch in the inner thighs. Smoothly, slowly inhaling. Exhaling, really tease out the stretch. One more time, a slow, long breath in. Exhaling back, find your edge and hold. So you can rest the head on forearms or fists, or again on a pillow or a cushion. Let your chest sink down into the ground. Find a place where you can let go. So it's not necessarily comfortable, but the more you can soften all the muscles around the joints, the more you'll find the tension dissipates and perhaps that sensation starts to dissipate. We're working beyond the muscles here. Deep down, realigning the skeletal system. We're looking to get into the fascia, the connective tissue, that soft, gel-like, matrix-like substance that coats every part of our body. The bones, the ligaments, the joints, every organ kind of holds us up. It's a little more brittle than the yang tissues of the body. So we have to spend time in these poses to soften them, to moisten them. They take time to stretch out, to lengthen. Take one last breath here. And let go. Pressing yourself all the way back, we're going to come into a wide squat, malasana. Taking your feet to the mat, a little wider than hip width distance, with your toes out and your heels in. Scoot your arms down inside the thighs and grab a hold of your skull. Actively pull your skull down towards the mat. Feel the weight of the head, the weight of your hips. Maybe a little rock. This is just a transitionary pose. We're going to come onto our bums now. So shift the weight onto your bum and slide the heels away into straddle pose. Take your heels as wide apart as feels right for you. If it's really uncomfortable for you and your lower back is rounding a lot, you might want to put some cushions under your bum. Take your hands either side of your hips and just take a moment to elevate here. Get tall and dignified. Maybe some little movements, some little circles if that feels good. And then taking your right arm along your left leg, start to drape the weight of your body over the left leg. It may feel nice to take the arm over. If it doesn't, you can rest the arm on cushions in front of you. Look for a place that feels right for you. So some of us might be up here and a little hunched over. Some of you might be a little more bendy and flexible, able to go further forward. So don't be concerned with how it looks or how you think it should look. Let go of those expectations. And look for what feels right. You're looking for a place to soften, a place to really let go, to release. Come aware of the quality of your breath and just maybe think of the words that you might associate with the breath. The air and lightness and light. Soft and drift. And perhaps the words that you may associate with an exhale. Heaviness, release, and drop, sink. And walking your way through center, maybe taking your cushion with you, your pillow. Slide your left leg across, left arm across the left leg, and lean over to the left side. Maybe the right arm reaches up and over. Or maybe you let the body roll a little more into the center line. Find a place where you can hang, where you can get heavy. Take 2 more rounds of breath where you are, slow and deep. And walking back through center, just walk your way back up and give your legs a little wiggle. We're going to make our way into 2 passive back bends. Coming onto your back, grab a hold of either a rolled up towel or a cushion. I'm going to use a block. I'm going to make our way to a passive fish. Slide your brick or whatever it is up in line with your spine and place it on the ground in between your shoulder blades. So you might even need 2 cushions here, depending on the flexibility of your neck and your upper back. You're going to rest the whole body in between the shoulder blades, the weight of it onto the block or the cushion. And if it doesn't feel right to have the chin lifted like this and the back of the neck compressed, you can place another cushion underneath your skull. So it might not feel right for you to have your legs bent. You might want to rock the knees in an easy resting pose, or perhaps into Supta Baddha Konasana, the soles of the feet together. Maybe the heels slide wide apart or your arms reach up and over your head. We're going to be here for a few minutes now, so make sure you found a place where you can really let go of the weight of the body. There should be no pain. You can let the eyes roll into the back of the skull, the eyes softly close. You can slacken the jaw and the mouth gape open like you're catching flies. As you let go of the weight of the body, feel the heart lifting, the throat open. It might make you feel a little bit vulnerable. We spend a lot of our lives hunched over our desks, our steering wheels. Not a great deal of opportunity in our daily lives to back bend. It can bring all sorts of sensations and emotions and feelings to the surface. So just have a gentle awareness of any thoughts that arise, anything that comes brimming up to the surface of your skin, without judging, without trying to change it. Just noticing. Perhaps deepening your breath and feeling the stretch through the front body. Every in-breath is a new beginning. Every exhale is a letting go and a letting be. If you feel comfortable right where you are, then I invite you to stay here for a few minutes longer. If it's starting to become uncomfortable for you and you want to shift, simply press down through your elbows when you're ready and lift your back up to remove your brick. Bending your knees, lower the body down onto the mat. You can take the brick between your thighs as you rock over to the left side. Take your left arm up underneath your skull. Take your right leg on top of your left, a little further forward, and you can rest the brick underneath the knee or take it all the way down to the ground. It's essentially your recovery pose. It's also known as Yin Shavasana. Taking everything onto the left side. The yin channels of your body opening up. The eyes close, and the body hangs soft and heavy. The breath slows down, maybe coming back to those inward counts of breath. But this time, with your inhale, you inhale for a count of 4. And your exhale slows down to a count of 6. Calming the central nervous system. I invite you to remain here for as long as you need. When you do feel it's time for you to make your way up, make sure you make no sudden movements. Keep your eyes closed or your gaze soft and inward. Keep the lights low. Whenever you're ready, make your way to bed. Thank you all for joining me. Namaste.